Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Team Fortress TV. Yes, that is right, we are Team Fortress TV, broadcasting Team Fortress 2 live to you tonight. Oh, it's going to be amazing. I am Ryushi, joining me on camera is Dashner, all the way from Canada? One of those countries, I can't remember. And also, as a special treat, pulled straight out of the SIVO leagues, joining me also is going to be Pure. Welcome, Pure.
How's it going, Ryu?
Pure.
Always a pleasure. It started off as Pure, and then I went to Pure, and it's one of those. But it's nice to be on this afternoon cast, and I guess I will be delaying my gym time based on how long this match goes, which will be 60 minutes, which in TF2 time will probably be about 2 hours. But let's do that.
Yeah, indeed. And as an introduction to the match, let's talk about the teams. Okay, so obviously you will have no knowledge about about the current Euro TF2 scene, so I will explain it to you. But at the moment, we have two teams here. We've got the French team, which you didn't play against it at I-46, but it's going to be basically it's just a very similar team, some very similar names, and the Euros will love the fact that we've got the two French scouts of FL1P or Flip and Flippy, which is nice and confusing to have both scouts called Flip. But they're going to be fantastic. We've also got T-Mac and Tech on Roma and Pocket, respectively. Exxon pulling off that Demo Man, and they're going to have Bull on Medic. And they are they're in sort of the top three for this season. They're expected to do very, very well, and have got a good chance at dethroning maincall.tf, who are of course sat at the top of the league at the moment. Whereas over on the other side, we've got more of a bottom prem team, unfortunately, led by our own Admirable, and backed up by some old talent of Walters. He's picked up a couple of sort of upcoming players to play for him at the moment, and they've done all right, but nothing particularly spectacular. No sort of big games off the no points off the big teams.
Yeah, coolclan is definitely a team from the past. I think that the first or second teams that I actually rang for when I was still at school was coolclan and Imperial. And coolclan has a solid history in European TF2. It's my 2 cents when it comes to that. I was trying to think about who was the scout partner that was with Walters back in the day when they were just knocking on people.
I don't know. I'm not even sure if I was born at that point. It was a long time ago. No, I haven't a clue, to be honest.
Stream chat, help us out with that one. You guys are, you're doing the research for us. Yeah,
but also, of course, the 4 players that they've got playing today, they've got Bonkers and Fromolo on Soldier. Now, these two are Polish upcoming talent. They played in the Nations Cup for the Poland team. And Admirable liked what he saw when he was casting them, and he picked them up for his soldiers for this Prem team. And to be fair, they've done pretty well. Fromolo is a sort of ex-Highlander sniper, so he's really, really good at that sort of Roma into sniper role, which was played quite a lot by Jukebox and players like that. And then on scouts, obviously, as I said, we had Walters, and they have a different scout normally, but I cannot for the life of me think of who that is off the top of my head now, so I'm just going to go check. But they have Sorex at the moment playing. Oh yeah, they have Denny at normal.
Let's talk about Logjam a little bit, and just so everybody knows, I have never played this map, but let's talk about it a little bit. Standard 5 CP. What's your Ryu? How do you feel about the map? To give us a little bit of content.
Personally like it, and the fact that it's being constantly changed by the map maker in response to the ETF2L community's feedback, I think is also fantastic. It's a fun map to play. I personally am not very good at it, as you'll see from my officials on ETF2L if anyone bothered to check. But mostly because I don't really know how to play the mid. It's kind of tough. But we are going to go live in 15 seconds, I've got to say, so
okay, well, the map has logs in it, and there's a cool second point. And the middle, the entryways to the middle look a little bit normal, but I guess we're going live in 3 seconds, so we can't talk about it.
We've gone live already, actually. It's a little bit delayed there, but they're coming up to the first middle as we go straight into this. It's going to be LVC versus coolclan on Logjam for ETF2L Week 5. And they're going to go straight across. Both teams playing a little bit passive now, playing around the house, trying to put some good spam out. A scout of Flip goes super aggressively in, but gets followed up by T-Mac, but T-Mac goes down, so does Exxon, and now Tech falling as well. The Frenchies lose 3 immediately. Bonkers the only one to fall, and coolclan come out with a pretty strong middle there. That looked pretty nice there.
I wasn't really able to catch most of the middle, but I have noticed that Admiral is a little bit ahead of Boule. And they're holding in the back left. I really doubt they'll go to 2 here, so we'll probably see a last defense. The It's going to be something I'll be looking for, seeing how the mid fights play out into being able to hold last versus some aggressive two holds.
Yeah, now a real favourite on this last hold is this sort of really defensive pyro playing around that left side shutter on the wall. Played a lot like the Gullywash pyro, but a pyro there can just completely destroy any Uber that tries to get in. So it's an often used tactic, but it doesn't look like the Frenchies are going to do it. They're going to pick up that sniper onto Flippy, and he is, of course, a complete monster on the glass. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can hit those wonderful headshots that we've seen from him in so many games. But the Uber is going to come in, and they're not going to getting through the door quite as easily. It's going to spam them out a lot, but the Uber now gets forced out of ball, so not really a lot happens by Fromolo, but that was only the Roma. They don't really get much else done. Bonkers goes down, and now coolclan have lost both their soldiers and their medic as Exxon pipes it Marble to the face. Now Sorix and Waters are sort of trapped out behind, and Smears having to run. They're all running. There's no one behind, I don't think, for the two blue scouts, so they're not looking for a back cap. They just basically failed their push and had to get out there.
There's one scout pushing T-Mac, but he closes it down. Now, coolclan came in with a pretty early Uber. In my estimation, they should have realized they were so far behind in the pop, and Admirable should have got out of there. But it wasn't the case. The demo just came in with a nice counter Uber. Looks like it was Exxon. Exxon came in with the counter Uber and just totally destroyed coolclan. So taking middle are the Frenchies. La Berrichonne, La Berrichonne de Châteauroux. Probably just butchered that, but they're looking to push into 2 here with an Uber advantage.
Well, it's going to be a defense from coolclan, and they're holding back in this far left. They're actually going to pick up Bull, so Bonkers gets in behind, and I don't even know if that was a drop. I'm not entirely certain, but with no medic from the Frenchies, they're going to have to go full-on suicide for Admirable, or cut their losses and just back out. And it looks like they're going to be cutting their losses. I say that T-Mac jumps into Cave. He's trying to follow Admirable through Cave. Admirable surfing, doesn't actually take that much damage, and now T-Mac and Tech as well getting picked off. So now the Frenchies have lost both their soldiers. They're in a tough position to defend because Admirable's got an 80% Uber advantage as they push in, looking to push in through this sort of log room here and go straight underneath the point. This could be really good for them unless they get spammed out too early, but there's only one demo stick hitting Admirable, and frankly it misses completely, so coolclan just walking for free there.
Yeah,
well,
Exxon was holding on a trap that was on the wrong side of middle, or just on a different side of mid, and that's kind of unfortunate for them. But as we see here, we got momentum and a pop coming out from Admirable. Probably just gonna get one more kill with this. Kind of just not really a killing Uber, but just kind of take the area. And a little bit of pressure coming from the Frenchies. They're spamming, and you know what? Admirable's not healing his mates, his fellows, and the Frenchies get a couple picks off of that fact.
Yeah, losing both their soldiers once again. Bonks and Fromolo going really, really hard aggressively onto the red medic there, and I'm afraid my TF2 has just crashed. I think everything is crashing.
It's all good. I will carry the weight for a couple minutes here. We got Exxon pushing the middle. The Frenchies do have Uber, so they're looking to, let's see if they look for some frags here. Counter jump coming in from coolclan, but he's definitely going to be taken down easily. So Admirable's at 60%. He's going to be looking to get that Uber before the French push into 2. Exxon, I don't know what to call this, but Exxon is going into 2. And he's going to be... Oh, he pops early. So the early pop from the French. Admirable's at 88% right now. coolclan trying to run away. Exxon trying to connect some pipes. The momentum's going just back and forth here. And right now, Admirable has Uber. He's holding last. The Frenchies and coolclan have 6 up each. So we're kind of at a stalemate position here, except for the fact that Admirable might push out. And yep, Admirable's taking heavy damage. He's gonna have to pop really early here. Let's see if they can get anything out of this pop. Still has not popped yet, but you know, this is one of those situations you could have a really terrible drop if you go the wrong direction at the wrong time. Boole at 80% right now, catching up. Admirable holding onto the Uber. See if this plays out. I'm on his perspective. But as you notice, the Frenchies will have their Uber very quickly, and coolclan members are dying left and right. Counter pop comes out of Boole. This is the perfect situation for the French. Oof, you know, the frags are going back and forth, and it looks like we have a little bit of a back cap going. So I wasn't able to catch up on that back cap, but I think that was the only push, really, from the entire match that I've seen so far that was relatively well executed. Admirable was trying to hold the Uber. The French got their Uber in time, and we're on to a 1-0 lead here for the French.
Yeah, I caught the tail end of that as they come into this mid, so I think I've come back in now and I can continue casting. But as they come into this mid, sorry to interrupt you, Pure, but you had been speaking for a little bit. Give you a little bit of rest of the lips there, but again, coolclan staying really passively here. There's going to be some aggression from the French team, and Flippy and Flip combined to take down Smear. And now with this continued aggression, Tech jumps in, it's going to continue on to Bonkers, and now Admirable's team is in such a terrible position. Admirable's had to jump backwards, and he's actually going to get crossbowed down by Bull there, and they all completely wipe, and the Frenchies have a good middle for themselves there.
That was a little medic on medic homicide. You know, when it happens, you know, you feel bad, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. So, massive uber advantage here for Bull. This is kind of one of those situations where the Frenchies, if they close out this round, they have a really strong push. I'd kind of guess that they're going to take the whole map 5-1 or 5-2. In 30 minutes, of course.
Of course, yeah, of course. So we still have 23 minutes left, so it's all up in the air. And as Fromolo tries to suicide out to try and get that early force out of Bull, it's not going to manage it. They do have themselves a sniper over on Walters looking across from that right side of spawn, but doesn't manage to find anything with that open door. And the Uber's just going to get forced out really early from Bull. They jump straight onto the demo man of Samir, but not going to be able to find him. This Uber gets in, but it's not really finding anything at the moment. coolclan are defending, but they have just so much time on the point. It's such a fast cap, this point. And they just rush their scout and medic onto it, and it just caps so fast. And that brings us to 2-0 as well.
Yeah, that's you really have to see coolclan step up here. If coolclan can't win mid, or defend 2 in the case they don't win mid, you're really going to see the map just slip away from them. So I'm going to be watching from Admiral's point of view, seeing what's going on from the the rear.
Yeah, I want to see some aggression out of coolclan at the moment. They're letting the Frenchies dominate the positioning and letting them come into them. They're trying to play off the picks, but it's not going to happen. And so far, the aggression is coming out. Bonkers is going to be the first jump down. He's going to take down Flippy, but now Samir's actually really super aggressive up on the left side. Hits an air pipe onto the soldier of T-Mac, and he does in fact crater. But now it's sort of going not too well for them because they're still on that low ground. They haven't managed to take the high ground. Now they're starting to force their way across the point and starting to force the LBC out. But the Uber gets forced out of Bull as he tries to pop to save his scout. And now Admirable doesn't even have it yet.
Can he do it? 97? Oh,
no. Is not going to manage it. I thought he dropped his player there. I didn't realize he didn't even have it. That's a terrible mistake there from coolclan, not realizing that they had a little bit of a disadvantage because they weren't building as well, and now they're just going to lose so many more players as LBC flood back in with their respawns.
Oh, that was real unfortunate. Real unfortunate. Admirable, he did a great job staying alive, like relatively keeping the heals going, but you know, there's those situations where as a medic you want your teammates to understand what's happening, and you know, it just didn't pan out. So this is a situation where coolclan, there's no real uber advantages or disadvantages, so we have to see what coolclan can do here. Are they about? It looks like they're doing an off push. They're just going to be going in the middle right here.
Yeah, I think that's the right decision as well. I say that Flippy's going to body shot Admirable down with a big full-on charge one straight from log room. Fromolo jumps in to try and salvage the situation by picking Bull, but isn't going to manage to get him. And now LBC, they've got a 3-man advantage as Bonkers goes down. And huge uber advantage. They're just going to push straight into second, get it for free, and start pressuring last. I don't think anyone, maybe a hider from coolclan to try and pick Bull, but there's no one here. They're just going to completely sack second, and I think that's the right decision there. Would you agree?
It was a pretty good decision. Right now I'm just focusing on this Uber. I know they want to pop in early. They're going through the lower main area, and it's kind of the situation where the French are just eating him up with this Uber. Hopefully they'll get one more frag with this, so they're going to have a hard time capping last.
Yeah, it seems to be good so far, and in fact they're getting a few more. But Flippy once again pulls out the headshot onto Admirable, and although it's not going to be a good last push, it's got the pick onto the medic of Admirable, which means they can salvage it and easily. I don't think coolclan should, as they have 2 scouts alive, should be able to get this second point. T-Mac looks to be coming in from there. Right. He's just going to back out.
Let's get the hype train going here. This is coolclan's chance. They gotta man up. The Ubers don't matter. The last 2 times they've tried to actually do something in TF2, they've gotten body shot. They've lost Uber at 98%. But you know what? I got a feeling. It's starting in my loins and moving up. coolclan's coming back right now.
Hey, what do you think? What's the plan? What's the play? What are they going to do?
Oh, I have no idea. No clue. I'm getting hyped about it.
Well, it looks like they're getting aggressive at choke, but the spam's keeping them back. They're they're like a dog held at bay at the moment, ready to charge into middle. But
Is that a
it doesn't
crit?
look like
I
they're
caught the
doing it.
crits for you. Here comes the crits from the franchise.
This could be dangerous then. This could be dangerous. They're really close to choke, and if they catch out the 4 players, Smear's going to be the first to fall to the crits. Not finding anyone. Fromolo gets picked off as he tries to retreat into wood. Admirable is not going to get it in time and does go down. That's 3 players with these crit stickies from Exxon. Bonkers suiciding in to try and pick some players, but isn't going to manage it. And now Sorix as well, not managing to do anything. Walter's the last one left alive. Where is he? Is he back on last, or is he looking for that frag? He is back on last.
Right, my heart's just breaking at this point. I don't know what to say. It means
They weren't
team timeout. Strategy changes.
The counter crits. What? I swear I just saw a crit sticky come out of Smear there, and maybe that's just a bug in my game, but I thought that Admirable had a crits there, but no, he does not. Bull now has 90% crits advantage. They're going to come straight in through that right-hand side. This could be dangerous, though. It's such an easily spammed point. Are they going to be able to get anything? They tried to fire up an upward rocket onto that block, but they're not going to get anything, and actually the crits just completely fails. They lose 2 flank players, and now they're getting chased out. Bonkers comes in from behind to frag Bull, and now with 3 down, this is definitely coolclan's chance. With Admirable keeping alive. Yeah, he died last time, but this time he's still alive. This could be it. Flippy's picked up the sniper rifle, though.
Get it on Flippy. Let's see if Flippy can do another body shot.
Himself. Okay, if this isn't their chance, Exxon killing himself, Admirable with a 90% advantage, then there's no hope for them. Okay, this is not looking good. Smear's going to fall to the body shot, and now with Sorix down as well, they're having to back out. They've got such huge advantage, but they just can't get in through that choke against that sniper of Flippy. They're too scared of him, and they back and keep on mid. And now they're being pressured from the flanks by an aggressive cave play by T-Mac. I think he backs out though. And it's... yeah, the French just giving them no respect, just coming straight in. They know that they've got an uber disadvantage, but they're just going to take second out of it anyway. Admirable looks lost. He's stood on the point with his team. They don't seem to be able to get any positioning though. They're trying to get aggressive, trying to find out the sniper, but they just want to stay in cover.
It was like he was playing gravel pit for about 10 seconds back there. He's trying to hold that uber, and actually they're pushing forward in the mid, which is actually bad because Bull has the uber now. This can not. Oh no! Let's see if Admirable gets out. He needs to get out here. Oh god, there's no one with them. Oh god.
They ignore him though. They ignore him though, and they look for the demo man that they found in cave. They're gonna pick up 4. Admirable stays alive, but he's going to have a huge disadvantage by the time he links up with his last play. It's going to be Fromolo trying to defend his medic against the rampaging forces of the French. Admirable surfs out, almost gets out onto last, but takes a rocket to the face at the last second from Tech. And now Flippy pulls out the headshot onto Fromolo. That is a complete wipe from coolclan, just with 4 respawns. Now, can they defend any points on this land? Last, it doesn't look at the French come streaming in through the lower main. Flippy still on that sniper rifle. Bull actually just walks through the point and just dies to the sticks of stick spam of Smear. I'm not quite sure what he was doing there, but French throw themselves onto the respawns there a little bit. Not quite sure what they were doing.
They didn't predict that there were going to be 4 respawns like that, and then by the time the 4 respawns started playing out, you know, there probably wasn't a clear call on what to do. So, you know, a lot of action just happened in the last like 20 seconds. I don't even know what's happening, except for the fact that coolclan's pushing out. They got a little bit of an Uber advantage, and it looks like Bull switched back to an Uber. I guess he's been on the Uber for a couple minutes now. But, yeah, come on, coolclan. Like, we gotta get a coolclan chant starting right now, because they have to get back into the game.
Well, they trade for their roaming soldiers in the log area, and now as they try to come in through low once again, they're going to hear those shots ring out from Flippy's sniper rifle. Doesn't manage to hit anyone this time, but he's staying alive for so long, just buying time underneath the point. Does finally manage to go down, but Bull is far out on that second point, so he's going to stay alive. In fact, Flip is going to pistol Sorix down to keep Bull alive. And coolclan, they've got mid, they've got an Uber advantage, but only slightly, with only a 10% advantage here. If they can get another pick, they do. They're going to find Flip, who was too far forward in choke there. And now they're going to try and come in straight through log. They're going to get it just in time, but Bull now has his. This could be a really dangerous position as they try to come in through that doorway. This is so bad for them. Just Exxon just plus forwards into Smear, hits him with the pipes. Admirable dodges, and they just ignore him once again, realizing that he has now got no Uber, and now he's completely useless to the rest of his team because he cannot even heal them because he is nowhere near them.
It's you know, Admirable is trying to like move forward quickly and smartly, but the 3 or 4 times I've seen him try to use Uber advantage, it's the case that Bull just has the Uber at the perfect time. I'm really looking for one team to really tighten down their game. It kind of seems like the French have the upper hand when it comes to the round score and the pushing, But I still have faith in coolclan. You know, once they start hitting on their gears, I got faith.
A good mid on this map can just completely roll you all the way to last. It is, you can just get a complete blitzkrieg round, but so far we haven't seen any this match. But so coolclan have still got that option. They can still just decimate mid and then go straight to last, but it's going to be tough for them to do that with, especially with this Uber coming in now. This soul destroying Uber. It's going to be denied actually by the pyro of Sorex, but he goes down pretty quickly. Exxon dealing with him with the sticks early on, and now with Bonkers going down, Exxon and Bull are going to fall though, so it's a 3 for 3 at the moment, and they're just trying to sack onto the point. coolclan have got a couple of players near the point, but I think they're going to be able to do it. It's just Flip left alive on 86 HP as he's trying to skirt around, looking for the point. He's going to get the pick, and now runs straight onto it, but Walters meat shots him just as he touches it, and that is a full wipe for the Frenchies, with Walters the only one left alive for coolclan.
You really can't call it a fail push. It was just an Uber fight that didn't go in the Frenchies' direction. I wanted to comment on Sniper on this map. This reminds me of the map that Byte designed. I forgot the name of it. Do you remember the name of it?
I didn't even know he made a map.
Okay, I think Byte designed a map, and I forgot the name of it, but it just seems like snipers have a lot of power when it comes to the mid transition, and it's kind of interesting. Just so you know, crit
Vanguard?
sword's admirable. Say again?
Vanguard? It wasn't Vanguard,
no,
was
not
it?
Vanguard.
No.
I'm hoping the stream chatters eventually will remember what it was. But crits for admirable, and that's gonna be interesting because that's a defensive crits.
Well, last season the two Polish guys were on an all-Polish team called Kritzberg for defense, so maybe taking a league out of their book, a leaf out of their book, should I say? It could work if they surprise LBC with it, but Bull has his now, so it's going to be a crits into Uber. They need the drop on Bull to get this, and they can't get through that door without the French knowing that they must have seen the heal beam as well. They must know it's crits. The Uber's going to come straight in, failing to get through the door a little bit there. Flippy's going to get picked off over on the flank by Bonkers as they try to entrance. And in fact, the Uber, they do absolutely nothing with it. The crits does come out. It's going to take down T-Mac. Bonkers is behind. He's going to take down Bull. And now with this aggressive crits play, it seems to be working for them so far. I think it was mainly just because of that Uber just completely failed though.
It's a really interesting last, and I want to try to get some comments in here because the respawn is like real quick. The French demo man's fighting from the point, but he's about to get cleaned up. If I was going to push on this map, I would almost always go lower main. Lower main, you have the access to go top left, top right. You really can do whatever you want. It seems like when teams are going close right, they think that it's smart to go through that sliding door, but they're always getting eaten alive by spam or a pyro. So, you know, this should be a game that's 4-1 or 4-0 for the Frenchies, but we're still looking at 2-0. The next team that grabs a round is going to get a hell of a lot of momentum.
There's going to be a scout hiding under the point as Walters is going in for Bull. He does manage to get 2 shots on Bull on 14 HP. Is he going to be able to get out of this alive? Walters missing every shot, does finally get taken down, but Bull stayed alive on so low, somehow managing to survive that huge play by Walters. Well, I say huge play, he didn't get the medic, so it wasn't a huge play, and coolclan have to back up. If they got Bull there, they could have really pushed out with their heal advantage. Uber's going to come in now through lower main, and with that aggressive push, they're just going to put Bull onto the point. He's going to get cleaned up by Bonkers, but they've got the high ground of this soldier, but the respawns come out of coolclan now. They're putting a lot of damage onto the 3 players who are in. It's going to be a jump out T-Mac for the point. He doesn't manage to get anything done and does go down. Flippy and Flip, the only ones left alive. They're both just suiciding for the point. Flippy, I think he's just respawned. Yeah, he is on second, hiding underneath the point, pulling out. He saw Walters do it, and he's going to try it himself now. He's going to look for Admirable to see if he can pick him off. Admirable does have that 100%. He's going to find him, hits one, forces the Uber out, isn't going to be able to get anything else done, and meets a soldier of Walters, scout of Walters, and gets cleaned up, but he gets the force.
Let's see what coolclan can do here. You know they're thinking they should still go to mid. I hope Admirable gets in clean. I hope oh, look at all that spam. Oh my god. No, don't put... Oh my... Okay,
yeah, coming in low is a high risk, high reward play. If you can get it for free, it's really, really good. But if they see you coming and they spam it out, you just can't walk through anything there. And they lose 4, have to run like hell. And Exxon's really far forward actually. He's really wanting to get onto Admirable. He's going to hit the pipe onto him. Admirable surfing away. Is on 56 HP. Another pipe would clean him up, but he doesn't manage to hit it. And Admirable does manage to get back to last. But putting the fear of God into him, or should I say the fear of Exxon.
You have to expect the Frenchies to push right now. And
Aggressive
Control doing
right-hand
the Uber.
side. Oh, little bit of lag there. Keep going, Pierre.
The Uber's out at the top. Oh, it's kind of another fail push. Bull's wondering what's going on, but it's too late, my man. Counter Uber comes out from Admirable. Uber's over. About 2 more people up for the French. Wow, another... I don't want to call it a fail push. You have to... another push that does not cap last. There we go.
I think it is a failed push. A push where you don't get your objective. That's a failed push. Surely. Flippy's suicides onto the capping player of Sorex, but Fromley comes in to help him out and clean him up. And a nicely stacked point for Admirable. He's got a 30% advantage. They could just dry push this into mid. It hasn't worked so far for them. And once again, they try going through that log rollout. It's been called, though. They cannot get in through lower. And this is a really dangerous position to be in. They've got the Uber advantage, sure, but it's such an easy place to spam from mid if you try to go in through that wooden room.
I would say that Uber advantages really don't matter on this map. Just being able to get into areas clean and then counter spam. It's kind of like how I see the middles. And it seems like the middle on this map is the entire map in terms of I guess, back and forth.
Yeah, I want to see some pushes through cave. They don't really seem to have much watching it. Okay, I say that wrong. It's going to be actually a flip sniper watching cave, but they haven't even considered it. No team has pushed in through that cave, sort of on the far sort of left side of second. I can't see why. I always quite like pushing through there. It puts me in a good position on mid, and you can generally get in for free because it's quite easily sort of if they're holding close, they don't see you coming because you end up behind them.
Yeah, both teams just looking to trade some spam, some jabs here and there. Pop coming out from Admiral, I guess he got hit in the face. So this is not going to be good for coolclan. Counter pop from the Frenchies. They're pushing through the cave into 2 now. They're all over coolclan. Let's see what the frags come out.
Yeah, Admirable's going to be the first to drop, but they trade Exxon on flip for it. If coolclan can keep themselves together and clean up, yes they do. They lose only 1 so far. Tech and T-Mac, the only ones left alive. Bonks is going to get fragged, but T-Mac, he's so close to going down. He's got 3 health. He eventually gets pistoled down by Walters, and that was a 6 for 2 for coolclan there. They lost Admirable, sure, but if he spawns on crits now, this could be really good for him. No, he's going to stay with that medigun and just walk to mid.
It was Smire putting out the damage at the end of that fight. So it was kind of the Frenchies just getting excited that they killed the enemy medic. And of course there's a sniper on the right side just looking all across middle, getting about 3 or 4 shots on everybody. Frenchie's trying to push back in, and here goes the snipe, so the demo's down for coolclan.
I think at this point they just need to completely every time they see Flippy pick up that sniper rifle, they just need to rush straight for him. He's actually going to get a close range body shot onto Walters there, and that is now 2 frags for him on this middle fight. Exxon's going to die, but the French demo man of Exxon has never been that core in the push. Admirable gets trapped out in cave. He's fighting the sniper alone. Eventually a soldier comes from Admirable's on 1 HP. He does manage to survive so far. Flip's the only one left alive. Where even is he? He's back onto Admirable now. He's going to get him down. Takes down Sorex as well. So that is 3 up, 4 up for coolclan as they can push last. They've still got 5.5 minutes left in this map. So there's still plenty of time for them to get 2, maybe even 3 rounds if they're lucky, if they get a good push now. But it's going to require some balls and some confidence, and I don't know if they're going to have the confidence.
The way the Frenchies are playing, they always are really aggressive, or they're putting up a sniper and just all playing together. So it's putting a lot of pressure on coolclan to put together a successful push. And we've seen in the last 2 minutes here, the fights have gone back and forth. And traditionally, you'd be like, okay, now coolclan is going to lock it down. They're going to push forward, but the high level of aggression just stunts that when it comes to coolclan. And looks like we're even Ubers. Let's see if we're both on Uber right now. Oh no, we have crits coming out of Admirable here. He's at 90%. Oh, a couple frags coming in from Walters, and now we're gonna have to check out this crits.
Yeah, this could be really good for them as they pick up both the scouts on the flank. The crits faces the Uber though. Admirable, he's just gonna get bottled down by Exxon. Doesn't actually manage to kill him. Admirable finally goes down, but he bought so much time for his team to get in a good position to clean up the rest of the French players. Exxon's going to go down. Now the combo of T-Mac and Bull are in trouble. Walters plus forwarding on, takes down Bull and T-Mac. Sorex finishing off Tech 36 as well. Flippy and Flip, the only ones left alive, as they've just respawned on Scout. But I say respawn on Scout. Flippy's picked up the Engineer to defend his last point.
Is this it? Are we? Can we go choo-chooing now, Ryu? Is this the hype train? Is coolclan about to cap last, or are they gonna fail?
They just run straight in. Oh man, you've got to remember this point caps so fast. It is a really quick cap, and they just run a scout straight in underneath the sentry that Flippy was building, and he just caps it out straight there. This is fantastic, fantastic. They've got 4 minutes left in this map. Plenty of time for coolclan to get themselves 2 rounds if they're quick about it.
Game.
That is indeed a game. Let's see what happens as we come onto this 4th, middle of the game. You wouldn't think it was 4th, but it is indeed the 4th. coolclan once again staying really defensive around their choke. They're taking quite a bit of spam damage. Admirable actually down to 50 HP. He's in a bit of danger. He's looking for that health back. But now it comes a double, an aggressive soldier bomb from Fromolo and Bonkers. They take down Flippy, but don't really get much else with it. Now they're trying to get some damage onto Exxon. Exxon going down to so low. He does eventually fall. Bull and Flip, the only ones left alive. Flip running away through his choke, hooks up with Bull, and now they are going to be able to survive. But Admirable actually survived through that. He took like so much damage early onto the mid. He must have just run for his life and left his team to win.
Yeah, he was 60 health after like the first 2 seconds of entering middle, but Ad being Ad survived. So the middles are interesting. Like they're different for both teams. It's an interesting map, and I think it's less that the map plays bad and more that just people aren't used to the flow of it and like how to distance themselves. That's kind of how Metal Works plays out in the US, is where some people don't like it, but then they figure out that it's just a really long map, and they tend to get a little bit better on it. So we're at 100-100, and we have 1 NG on last for the Frenchies.
Yeah, well, there's 2 minutes 40 left on the clock. I think coolclan just want to go. Their Uber does actually get popped out over on the left-hand side, but it gets completely denied by the red team, and the sentry just not letting anyone in. Sorax is actually going to be the only one to fall, and the red Uber, they just back up. They know that they just want to defend this last for as long as possible. They think it's going to be a little bit risky pushing out into coolclan. And in fact, Bonkers and Walters are going to team up on the left-hand side to frag Flip. This could be the pick they've won. Sorax is up very, very shortly. And coolclan, they're looking to rotate in through Sneaky. The sentry's still up though, it's a level 2. It's going to be putting so much damage down on anyone who comes in through that left-hand side. And I don't think they're going to be able to get in. They've still got time though. They can bring it to a golden cap. They can get some points off the LBC. And Ips, I know, will be rubbing his hands in glee for the Frenchies losing points, because he does not want to give up that top seed.
Yeah, I got some spam coming in. The sentry goes down. Let's see if coolclan has a response to that. I guess they were just trying to take the gun down, just being a pest. So, yeah, what's up?
Oh, well, they've got the Uber now, I'm going to say, and I think they're looking to go double scout in through Sneaky, go straight onto the respawn sentry. They're going to take it down, but are they going to be able to get anything else with the rest of this Uber? No, because the counter Uber gets fragged, gets popped. Walters is actually going to pistol down T-Mac, but I don't think they're going to be able to defend to attack the point anymore. They back out, maybe looking for a rotate and come straight back in with the height advantage, but they look like they're back really far out. They're not looking to push. I think they maybe could have done that because there was 4 French players sat on the point. Could have been really good for them if they'd rotated in.
We have 1 minute left here. It looks like it's going to be one more Uber fight, and then maybe just a slow Uber fight, and then just everyone fully commits on last. If I was blue here, I would try to get in on the side of last where red is not, and use the high ground and just try to outspam and just see if that can play out. But Bonkers not going down at the right. Whenever people get on the point on this map, I don't have time to say anything. I just make some like weird sounds because it's going so quick. I don't want to say anything.
That was a complete wipe though for coolclan, and I think that's it. I think that's the death toll right there. Second's going to get capped out by the Frenchies. They don't lose anyone. They've got 100% Uber advantage. 24 seconds left. coolclan have to pull out a miracle, and I don't think it's going to happen as they meet them at choke. Flip's going to go down, but the Uber gets popped out of ball. They're looking to go straight for the back cap play. I don't think they've got enough time left, though. 14 seconds left. ×3 onto the cap point. They're going to leave Bonkers alone to try and cap out the point. He's not going to be able to do it. In comes Fromolo to try and cap out the point. There's no one to defend though. Exxon's just going to be able to put stickies on it. Smear tries to go behind, wasn't able to do it, and that is going to be 2-1 for our first map. A lot closer than I personally thought it was going to be. LBC top prem, coolclan low prem, but a really back and forth.
No, it was definitely a good game. I think that the French had about 3 attacks on last, where 1 or 2 of them they should have closed it out, and it would have been a much different game. We would have saw it probably end a lot earlier. And I think when coolclan got that round when it was 2-0 and they made it 2-1, we started choo-chooing with the hype, but it was both teams have a little bit to work on. You have to tell the Frenchies to look at their STVs of attacking last and just try to make it a little bit more effective. And when it comes to coolclan, I would say they got better at it towards the end, but playing around admirable, like in the middle of fights, is better. Having 1 to 2 people that truly care about their medic and keeping them safe.
Yeah, I noticed the logs have been posted in Mumble. I don't know if they're in stream chat yet, but I'm gonna go have a look at them. Hopefully they're up on the screen from Dashner. But top damaging in that match was Exxon, followed closely by Tech. So Exxon put out almost 2,000 more damage than Smear, and I think Demoman plays a big part on mids here. Putting out a lot of spam because the entrances to mid are really easily spammed on mid fights. So I think him being able to hit that spam is really important. Would you agree, or am I just talking complete rubbish? I normally do.
No, yeah, it's good to talk things out. I think that the French they played more solid as a team, and Demo Man is usually played by you being like a little bit behind your team and shooting in their direction, and just trying to add damage to fights. And I think Smear and the rest of coolclan just were kind of getting destroyed towards the start of the game. They weren't really winning the fights they needed to win. And so there weren't really opportunities for Smire to lay out that easy damage, as I call it. Usually he was just trying to negate, being capped at last or his whole team wiping. And usually you got to put traps down for that, or just keep walking backwards. But I don't see the Demo Man damage from the Frenchies being the reason it didn't go in the coolclan's favor. I kind of see it as a team cohesion type of thing.
Oh, okay, fair enough. If looking more at the logs though, I actually alt tab, but kills and deaths, they're sort of it was a very back and forth maps, as you can see. The Frenchies got 1 more kill than coolclan, so I don't think anything sort of anything can be made about that. I think it's as you're saying, literally just the way the team comps are playing. Yes, the Frenchies died a lot, but they still managed to win, and it was really close there towards the end as well. Admirable surprisingly didn't drop. We have a drop counter over here in Europe for how many times Admirable drops, and surprisingly he hasn't dropped so far, but that generally means he's going to drop 3 times on the next map.
I guess that means he's not trying, right? Because when he's trying, he drops.
Definitely.
Get it together, mate.
Oh, well, we're going to be going into our second map, which of course is Granary, a little bit more traditional. Very, very old map, been played forever, so we should see a little bit more, I think, I'm going to say a little bit more of a stomp for LBC. They are, on paper, the much better team, and on Granary they should be able to show it. I think Logjam was just throwing them off a little bit here.
I think that's actually a fair assumption. I think if I was a betting man, that's where I'd put my money. But I'm kind of hoping that coolclan just starts playing better and better as the evening or the afternoon unfolds. And we tend to, and I hope that we see just a really intense game. The problem with Granary, though, is if you win or if you lose middle bad, you basically lose the entire round. So hopefully the game just doesn't become 3-1 or 4-1 before I finish my first or second sentence.
Having a little bit of confusion with the servers. I hope we're on the same server, but it appears that people are leaving. Hopefully they're not changing without telling us, because that would be terrible. Looks like they might be, not quite certain.
I was always surprised at how serious the ping issue is when it comes to Europeans and wanting to switch servers because someone's at 80 ping versus 20 or something like that. Because in America, it's there are people like Siegel who play 100 ping like every match, and they just don't even care about it. Do you think that's something that should just should be passed by at this point, or you think that players have a right to be able to switch the server?
I personally am not affected by ping. I think even if I play with 120 ping, yeah, it's annoying, but you just sort of have to get used to it. But I suppose in these sort of, when there's actually money on the line, you want sort of every advantage you can get, and if ping is having good ping makes you play better, then I think they have every right to take that. Even if, like, generally if one team's got good ping on one server and bad ping on another, they'll swap like servers and play one map on each, which I think was happening because I think both Walters and Sorex had like 110 ping on that previous server we were on.
Sure. I guess it's just my mentality is I don't see it as ever really mattering maybe for demo man with the deading and whatnot, it matters. Or I guess a roaming or a pocket soldier getting one more rocket off before a death. I guess I see where you're coming from. Are we going to a different server? Are we aware of that yet?
No. Not a clue. I don't know what's going on. They're not in game at the moment. If that makes sense.
Oh, I just retried to the STV relay, and we're on Granary, so I think we're good to go.
Oh, okay.
Or hopefully good to go.
They might have changed the relay then. I'm not quite certain. I think we're on a different server. They've just changed the relay. I'm not quite certain because looking at the previous server they were on, the Exxon is still on. It's just Exxon on it at the moment.
Considering the French pings, it looks like we're on a French server.
Yeah, they've probably just changed the relay, so alright. I don't know if Dashner's going to have the live stats for it though. Get that sorted out. Was that Dashner? Sorry. Okay, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it to you guys. So once again, we're never gonna have a missed air shot.
Big Dashner, always taking care of business. Loves it.
Wonderful. Thanks for helping out Dashner as well tonight. Obviously, our normal streamer of Suyo had internet issues tonight, so Dashner kindly stepped in at the last moment. Also bringing Pure along, so thanks for that. I hate doing solo casts.
Well, for Dashner, almost anything I will do.
Heard it here first, folks. Get back onto the server. My TF2 is playing up tonight, which is wonderful.